and good day to you here on the Miami Community News Network on In the Know. Willard Shepard at Rifkin Shepard Law, and always great to be here. And we have a person with us, actually a group of people here today who are responsible basically for the entire economy here in South Florida. Of course, we all love our beautiful beaches, but you have to get here. And how is the way to get here? Airplanes, and American Airlines, the dominant carrier here at MIA and across the region. Honored to have with us my good friend, honored to be able to say that, Juan Carlos Liscano, the Senior Vice President of Operations at Miami International Airport. And JC, thanks for coming to see us. We've talked about this for quite a while, but now we're going to have you on today so people across, not only here in our state of Florida, but beyond that and to the reach of our entire country and beyond, can hear about the great things that are happening here. And it's fantastic to see you. And I do say that you generate all the jobs and so much that happens here in our region.
Willard, it's a pleasure to share with you today. And yes, it's a humbling responsibility to know the economic impact you have as an entity here in Miami. And so I think we're in for a really great discussion.
Yes, we are. And we want to start out with that. First of all, you have an incredible journey how you ended up here, and with such responsibility. There's 15,000 people that work for you, and over 400 flights a day at MIA you're responsible for. Tell me how you first got into the aviation business, and what led you to American, and how you ended up with this responsibility today.
It's an interesting question, Willard, and one I love to share. It all started for me back in 1994. Now, the entire family, we're a Colombian family, and originally went to New York, and everybody migrated to Miami because that is the place to be. Mm-hmm. I followed suit. When I got here, I needed a job. And I would have never thought that my choice of that first job was going to keep me there for 32 years, because I've been with American 32 years. So I started in Miami in 1994 as a part-time operations agent in a field that you and I both love, aviation. Now, I didn't know that back then, but as time started passing by, I found I had a knack for it, a knack for how incredibly variable every day was at the airline, and is and continues to be. And 32 years later, here I am.
Well, I was joking with you the other day that, I was a gate agent. My college job was, I was a gate agent at Lambert in St. Louis. So it was fascinating, and especially an incredible job for a college student, and obviously opened the doors for me. I used to sit in the cockpit after after the end of the shift.
I was thinking exactly that, Willard. Yeah. I mean, you went from a gate agent, eventually your career took you to the flight deck, and you were flying
fighters, Air Force fighters.
Incredible. Yes. And I think that journey has led you to kind of stay very tethered to aviation. A lot of the pilots that fly in and out, not just at MIA, but at Homestead Air Force Base as well. Yeah,
on my own side, I'm a commercial rated pilot. I could actually go get a job and come and work for you.
We'd hire you right away.
I decided at some point whether I would go, end up being what's now a captain with you, that I went in a journalism and a law direction, but I have a passion for everything that you all do. And I have to give you one of these because you have your MBA from FIU,
yes,
my law school. I was harassing your counsel over here, that the University of Miami graduate, that FIU, as I always say, has the highest bar passage rate.
Go Panthers.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that, counselor. There you go. Now, however, we do have to discuss with you one thing. Mm-hmm. We want you to tell all of the Miami Hurricanes and the people who love the Miami Hurricanes all throughout this region where you spent 4 years of your undergraduate time in terms of getting your education.
So that is a great answer, and you could say it kind of sums up the term house divided, but Indiana University.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What happened in January concerning Indiana University and the University of Miami?
Indiana University, with a Miami-led quarterback,
Mr. Mendoza.
Mr. Mendoza, an incredible family, certainly took it all the way. Perfect season, incredible sportsmanship, incredible talent, and that college football championship, by the way, right here in Miami, of which the Orange Bowl plays such an incredible part in, demonstrated to all of the college football fans that they were the best team.
Well, it's a testament to who you are and what you've done in our community that people still love you despite the fact that you went to the University of Indiana. So there. And speaking to that point, to the operations at Miami International Airport, there's some dreams that are turning into reality. And my friend Rachel here, who is conducting our orchestra today, is going to put up some renderings, and you can tell us about our passengers coming through MIA, what this project is all about, what it's going to do for AA.
Thank you, Willard. MIA has been home for me for quite a long time. Really proud of the entire airport, the community at large. Miami-Dade Aviation Department is a great partner of ours, and they've undertaken an incredible investment path, almost to the tune of $14 billion. We're the biggest participant in sort of that investment, if you will, in modernizing MIA and taking it to its future. And so, what you're looking at are renderings of what will be the brand new D60 terminal. And so today, when you travel through D60, it's they're covered, but open to the air walkways that take you to regional aircraft, and most of our regional operation is out of D60. And so it's not the most desirable setup, but this is going to take us to where we need to be. This is a $1.1 billion investment. We will completely modernize D60. It'll be 17 covered gates, all connected internationally. And one of the most beautiful things is going to be the customer experience. It's going to be beautiful inside, have all the right concessions, but it will allow American Airlines to do things with its schedule otherwise couldn't, because they aren't just going to fit regional aircraft, as you're familiar with. You're going to be able to put narrow body airplanes at those gates as well. So the schedule will look so much better.
You talk about the customer experience. Tell us about what American has done recently to improve that, always try to enhance it. I always say, I was traveling with my wife the other day, and she's like, wow, the food's a lot better over here. So you all are making these types of investments.
Yeah, I'll do it with a bit of an eye towards Miami. It is where I started this career, and I feel I have Miami in my heart. And while I work for American Airlines, I feel like I'm fighting not just for American Airlines, but for Miami and its success. And so I've been part of this journey when American Airlines went from 20 flights a day to a hub, 200 flights a day, after we purchased Eastern's routes. And so it's been amazing to go from 200 employees to 15,500 employees and continue to grow. And now it's 170 destinations to 48 countries and territories, and continues to grow. And so being part of that journey, understanding how we've grown with this economy, helped this economy grow. When you look at our skyline, the number of buildings that have been built throughout that time frame, how the economy has grown, how employees have been able to grow and improve their quality of life over time. And we've been able to participate in the evolution of Miami, where we used to talk about it, Willard, as maybe the capital of the Americas. It's no longer a maybe. It is the capital and the gateway to the Americas and to the Caribbean.
Strategically, that's so important. So talk about why MIA and AA decided to have this tremendous growth here and really be a launching pad and a launching point for the Caribbean, for Latin America, for Europe and our routes that, head off to Europe and over the Atlantic.
Willard, I know in our past conversations, you value kind of the history behind something, the why behind something. And so this is a little bit of a unique history and ironic in some ways, but not really. I mean, I'm blessed to be the chair of the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. And back in 1988, the Chamber of Commerce was part of a group of local business leaders that went to Dallas-Fort Worth to convince American to buy Eastern's routes. And they paid about $450 million then. It's about 1.1 billion in today's dollars. And that's how we became a hub overnight. And that growth has really led to the addition of destinations and markets. And it's wonderful when you live in Miami and you have another destination you can go to nonstop, direct, which is amazing. I mean, we have 90 unique destinations nobody else flies to, and 170 destinations you get to direct. But we oftentimes miss is that Miami becomes the access to the United States and this amazing economy, to that country, to that location. And so it's great for travel and tourism, but incredibly great for commerce and trade.
Speaking of that, the cargo operations over on the north side of the ramp on 36th Street are also very important. I don't think people realize how much actually comes in and how important that is. So address that, please.
You know, Willard, it's commercial aviation. It's about passengers and their bags, but that belly space has additional capacity at times. And so we utilize that belly space to move cargo, essential cargo, perishables. And depending on the time of year, we obviously are a big participant in whether it's flowers, whether it's pharmaceuticals, but our cargo business is quite robust here at Miami International, sometimes being maybe first or second place in terms of all of the destinations we fly to globally.
Tell me back on the passenger side, but which most viewers will be seeing this, and they always want to understand how they can have a better experience. What are the types of things that you all have already kind of laid out recently? And I know you're always looking to try to do even more in that area. What can people on American expect this summer and beyond in those types of areas?
You know, travel is really busy, and I think you can set your framework of thinking and prepare yourself for travel in a way that makes it really easy and really smooth. I would encourage everybody, if you're on American, make sure you have the Advantage app. It's a great platform that allows you flexibility with what your travel needs may be. Check in ahead of time. Make sure your travel documents are all in order. You can pre-purchase your bags, and so you arrive. And to make that transaction as easy as possible, I have TSA pre-check, Willard, and touchless as well. And so now this is something you have at a checkpoint where you don't even need to pull out your ID and show that to TSA when you use touchless. And so there are ways you can travel where it's so seamless and smooth. And I think that is something we can all do to prepare as we go through our travel experience. There are occasions at times where the weather acts up. We're in South Florida, convective weather's all around us. And so being ahead of that and having a little bit of flexibility with the travel time sometimes is important. Right now, we just walked away from some really serious northeast weather. And so certainly that will change people's travel plans. But the app will help you manage through that.
Let's take people inside that some. So I always think if you have an educational knowledge of what you're dealing with, then you don't need to go up to the ticket agent or the gate agent in a manner that is like, oh, you're the one that has caused this problem. So let's take people inside this system somewhat. You just mentioned weather in the Northeast and how that can have an impact upon what happens here in South Florida. And I think for most passengers, they go to the airport and they look out and they go, oh, wow, the weather's great. In our flying business, we go, oh, it's a VFR conditions. Where's my aircraft? So kind of take people inside how this is a system where it's kind of like a series of dominoes that start early in the morning and that patience is required.
Yeah, look, I mean, I started as a part-time employee. I'm incredibly grateful to have this amazing job today, but I would never have gotten there without the 15,000 employees that make it happen every day. And everybody walks through the doors of the airport to give their very best of themselves in taking care of our customers. And Willard, despite us being American Airlines in Miami and having 400 flights a day to so many destinations, I never take for granted that we have to absolutely fight for every single customer and take care of them. And so all of these amazing team members that are there to take care of you want to do exactly that. And they're not responsible for what the weather or what may happen. And this is a massive system. If you think about it, you know, it's, I don't know, 6,500 plus flights a day. These airplanes, the pilots, the flight attendants, they're all flowing through different cities across the country, internationally. And on any given day, you can have an earthquake You can have a natural disaster, volcano spewing ashes, which impacts airspace. You can have a weather system that prevents aircrafts from finding a safe path to land or to take off. And all of that begins to disrupt this incredibly large machine. And so the team members are there to help take care of you through that. The app can help you. Sometimes you need to see a customer service agent that can maybe provide a different touch to what the solution you need is. But having a bit of patience and knowing that they're there for you is really important. And after having done this for 32 years, Willard, it always ends up getting worked out. People always end up getting to their destinations and being where they need to be.
On the technology front, obviously AI technology is in so many different fields now. Here in the legal business, we're using it in my firm. I use it, but it's a tool. It's something in a toolbox. It's not something to completely rely on. How are you utilizing some of these kinds of platforms and things now that can help your operations, but also end up at the end of the day helping a passenger?
Technology is at the center of everything that we're doing, without question. But this is a people business, Willard. We're always, people are always going to be at the center of what needs to happen at an airport. But the technology that we're using, as an example, like smart gating, is determining what is the most efficient gating plan at Miami, as an example. And that is based on what time is the airplane landing, how long is the taxi time to the gate, how many connections do I have on board. And when you do a gating plan that way and you stick to that gating plan, you're starting to find out that you're saving on taxi time. Well, saving on taxi time means you're saving on a passenger's connect time. You're saving on the fuel that's being burned. You're saving on the time that the pilots and the flight attendants are on board. And even if it's a minute or a minute and a half, Willard, I want you to think about what that means on over 400 flights a day, 365 days a year. And that's 400 outbound. Let's not talk about the 400 inbound as well. And so this then begins to add up. And so using technology to help you gate smart, we're using technology to determine at the end of the day, this is a flight. You know what? I have 15 customers that are coming in from Orlando, connecting to Sao Paulo. It is the last flight of the day. The crew has time. Even if it gets to a destination 20 to 30 minutes late, it's not going to impact the return in the morning for that flight. We're going to hold it. And it's allowing us to make really smart decisions to take care of our customers.
Tell me what you foresee next. We talked about the new gate expansion and those things along the way about here for MIA, whether that's on the employment front, going beyond the 15,000, additional routes that you might consider that you can publicly talk about, those types of things, because we've seen tremendous growth. And what's your vision next for our region with American?
Willard, as an airline, we're investing in the customer experience, whether it's the menu on board the aircraft, the wines that we're serving, our lounge experience. So leaning into the premium customer experience is part of that. So that is going to continue. We're going to grow our premium seats without question. We're going to build a brand new flagship lounge. So that'll continue to happen. But the part that gets me super excited as I think about American Airlines and I think about Miami, and it's why I'm so personally passionate about this job. It isn't just a job for me. It's something I feel like I'm responsible for 15,000 people and their families. I'm responsible for the success of trade and commerce and travel and tourism in Miami. Is that we have become the center of the universe, Willard. Miami is real. It's here. People are here. Companies continue to move here. Travel will continue to grow, and the traveling public will continue to grow. We will grow that schedule and continue to serve the destinations our customers want to fly to. We will grow that ecosystem, improve the experience at MIA, and so that success is in our future. You then align that success, Willard, with this investment that is making over the entire airport at MIA. And I will tell you, I think the airport has certainly given a lot of people reasons to maybe complain about it or offer
not airline operational things, but in there of bathrooms and elevators and escalators and those types of things, which the mayor has talked about addressing.
Yes. When you see the tangible investment that's happening, you align that with what American Airlines is doing. You go, wow, we have an incredible airport that you can get to from so many communities right around that airport. Easy to get into, easy to get out. If you go to other global airports, the amount of time it takes you to get in and out, when you arrive internationally, the ability to get out is so fluid, so easy. I think it's a gem of an airport, and it's getting better. And so the experience is only going to get better for our Miami residents.
To that point, Denver, way east of anything there in Denver, Colorado, internationally at FCO, Italy, and Rome, a long way away. So we are very fortunate here in South Florida that the airport is in a very convenient location geographically, 100%.
And Willard, I mean, you can casually have a conversation with any one of these folks within the finance sector, right? That have moved here from New York. If they lived in New York, you can ask them, tell me how many beautiful exotic destinations you can be in within a 2-hour flight time. Not very many. But if you live in Miami, many.
1,000%. We talked to you and joke with you about where you went undergrad and how that might not be popular around here. And I emphasize the things that you're doing for our community that have overcome all of that. And Rachel, we want to start with some pictures here of an event that one of your captains, Christine Rupert, has done to do outreach amongst women in aviation. But I say all different types of people and backgrounds in aviation. I think is actually the photograph that is on the front of my Instagram or Facebook. That's one of my favorite pictures ever because we're in front of one of your wide-body jets. And JC, I think that in this case, you had said to me that you flew that jet in from Brazil and spent 60 grand to get that aircraft here for this event, showing your dedication to outreach in our community. And we have a group of Girl Scouts who I'm kind of trying to convince to all go be fighter pilots.
You know, Willard, since 1989, we've been a hub, and we're the hometown airline here in Miami. And we don't oftentimes tell the story of why it's important and how much we have done in terms of community responsibility. You can't exist as a business entity and be a part of Miami unless you're part of this community and its growth, and you're a responsible community partner. And I'm very grateful to Mr. Peter DeLaura, who helped this place become a hub, who really started that path for all of us that have followed after him. And so we participate in many different organizations, whether it's United Way, the Miami Foundation, the World Symphony, Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, Beacon Council, because the success of Miami, if that happens, then that success trickles down to the rest of us that really make up the business community. And we've always believed in that. And so that event that you're looking at that happens at the hangar, you know, to park an airplane and leave it there all day, that costs money. An airplane doesn't do very much if it's sitting on the ground.
And Rachel, move forward next to our next photos there, please, and we'll put one up.
The reason this is significant is this is a Girl Scouts of South Florida, and
we want to make sure, and I always make sure that I have to do this for the Air Force and Air Force Academy. These are people, they're young men here too as well. You're there with one of the young men who came up, and to my left there is our airport director, Mr. Coutier.
Yeah, Mr. Coutier is there. And so this event, we get volunteers across the entire airport ecosystem. So you will have police, you have the helicopter pilots there, you have crash fire rescue, you have TSA, CBP, every department that's needed, Miami-Dade Aviation. Why? So that all of these Girl Scouts and the families that bring other kids as well can see what a possible aviation career can look like, and talk to those that are doing it and feel inspired and go, you know, that's something I may want to do. But I want to turn the mics around a little bit here, Willard, because I know this is your show. So with all due respect, I do want to recognize that you always volunteer for these events, and you show up in uniform, and you represent the armed forces, but you represent aviation careers, and you continue to do this. Nobody asked you to do this. This is of your own time, and you do it with such professionalism. And so, if this was my show, I would probably be interviewing you on what is it that motivates you to always do something great for Miami and its residents.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm going to ask Rachel to put some more of those pictures up there, because we have incredible people. Those are the two people I recruited, civilians from the Air Force, to help me on this particular day. That would be my wife and my sister over there, who I got to come out. Two civilians to aid me in this process. And I am the officer for the Air Force Academy in this region. And I think from my military flying, and it opened so many doors for me in so many different ways. And I could have come to fly with you if I chose to, that we need to let people know about these opportunities. I'm obviously biased. I think that the Air Force has the greatest flight school in the world, but you have hired fantastic people from across the board, and I want people to know these opportunities are available to them, and that education can lead to come and work for American Airlines. And Rachel, you can keep going forward. That and there's one of my favorite people at American Airlines. You know, Miss Maritza Gomez, who is over in your passenger services area, yes. And she always does a fantastic job when we're coming through and dealing with people who sometimes have been delayed and address that. And she's one of your 15,000 employees. So I want you to give her a shout out
we'll let
as an example.
Know you pass that on.
Yes.
And, you know, Willard, these careers, aviation careers with American Airlines at Miami International. You can go to Baker Aviation and within 18 months be an aircraft maintenance technician, an AMT, FAA certified. And American Airlines on day one will start you at $97,000 a year with incredible benefits, free flights, and a wonderful 401k plan. And so that exists right here. And Baker Aviation is part of Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Or you can choose to go to the Cadet Academy, be a pilot. And our pilots have pretty incredible careers. They're life-changing careers, and they stay.
Yes. And speaking of that, I'm going to ask Rachel to put up a photo of one of your pilots who you know is one of my colleagues and closest allies in the aviation world. That on my first day of law school, I met then First Officer Heller. And she is, at that time, one of your 757 first officers. And now she is a captain. And I believe in having smarter people around me. So I always say I cheated off Elisa every day in law school. I was just telling Counselor Sanchez, that's how I got to have a bar license with the United States Supreme Court. And she's just an example of diversity, of people. There's Captain Heller, and I followed her long enough to,
you know, she's incredible,
yes,
accomplished, just like Captain Rupert, who's flown narrow body, wide bodies, and so I think something that you're highlighting, just Captain Heller, Captain Rupert, and yourself, Willard, is that you can be a pilot. And you can do so much more as well, and have so much influence, positive influence and impact. And so, just incredible careers.
Well, we appreciate it, and you've had an incredible journey along the way. Anything else as we close that you wanted to share about? I imagine from where you started, you and your family are the American dream. coming from Columbia and all that you have been through and the chance to get the education you did and have these opportunities. What's it like for J.C. Liscano when he gets out of his car and he walks in through Miami International Airport as to where he was in Columbia as a young person and where you are today? And I see it in your eyes of what it means to you.
Yeah, it's quite significant. Never in my wildest dreams, Willard, did I think life would take this journey. I did a recent post on LinkedIn, just a bunch of gratefulness. It was over July 4th. Just really proud of our Independence Day and proud of what we represent as a country. You're seeing all the images across World Cup and all these foreigners enjoying what an amazing country we have. But to be able to leave Colombia at age 7, and start fresh here. My parents, this is where they landed, and to be able to work through a career and end up in such an important executive position with an incredible responsibility. And then to know that it isn't just a job, to know that giving back to that community is important. I feel I'm working towards making sure that those team members that are part of the American Airlines family have a future if they want to be there for 30 years themselves, to make sure that we continue to hire and grow so that others have an opportunity at aviation careers. I don't take that for granted. I do it out of passion, and because I want to, and because I believe in the success of our community. But maybe I love American Airlines to a fault as well, because I'm grateful for what it has brought to my family. But you combine all those things, Willard, and most people around you will notice that you try to do things from a good place. You do it from your heart, and you want everyone around you to succeed and iterate and be better off. And so when you act that way, usually good things happen, and you get to be surrounded by amazing people like yourself.
Well, it's an honor. It's an honor to have you here today. Thank you very much. You always have an open platform here. And over my years in the reporting world and the aviation world, I've seen it with my own eyes. Your people took me with them on the very first flight with the hurricane that happened in Puerto Rico several years ago. And to see those first supplies go and those things that your employees are doing, not just here, but wherever the need strikes, sometimes in disasters. We appreciate you're part of our community. As I always say, we got the best beach in the world, but for many people, you got to get here.
That's right.
JC, great to see you. God bless you and the best to you in your continued journey. Okay, and always thanks for being with us here on In the Know, and we will be back soon.